If you're the most disliked figure in the National Football League, the last place you want to be is standing in front of hundreds of national reporters on live TV. But Kevin Stefanski didn't have that luxury. Welcome back to NFL Zone Talks. Today, the Atlanta Falcons' nightmare went national. Stefanski showed up to the NFL Scouting Combine planning to evaluate draft prospects, but instead he walked straight into a media firestorm. He attempted to act like everything was business as usual. He tried discussing 40-yard dash times and vertical leaps, but the press wasn't interested. Reporters quickly took over the session, firing questions about his C- NFL Players Association grade, the reported tension with Michael Penix Jr., and whether Arthur Blank pressured him into apologizing to Shedeur Sanders. He began stumbling through his answers. The noise in the concourse reportedly grew louder, and the moment spiraled into pure embarrassment, forcing team executives to step in. In a shocking turn, Matt Ryan had to guide his own head coach away from the podium just to contain the damage. It felt like the clearest sign yet of dysfunction within the franchise. And as Stefanski was escorted through the back tunnels, an even bigger rumor started circulating. The rumor started spreading fast among league insiders in Indianapolis about his flight back to Georgia. Now, picture the scene clearly. The NFL Scouting Combine is supposed to represent the pinnacle of professional scouting, a gathering of elite executives, sharp evaluators, and top-tier coaches from across the National Football League. It's normally defined by firm handshakes, quiet conversations, and polished professionalism. But when Kevin Stefanski stepped into the arena that weekend, the energy shifted instantly. Loud, unmistakable boos echoed through the space, drowning out the former Cleveland Browns head coach. Just weeks earlier, he had been calmly answering questions about his offensive philosophy. Now he was facing one of the harshest public backlashes in recent NFL memory. And the fallout goes far beyond a frustrated crowd. It traces back to a season filled with missed opportunities, internal friction, and a young quarterback many believe was mishandled. To understand why so many have turned on Stefanski, you have to look at what critics are calling a carefully crafted PR reset. He's appeared on major platforms like the Pardon My Take, offering polished praise for Shedeur Sanders and insisting he always believed in him. He described Shedeur as wired the right way, built for stardom. But those comments have only fueled more skepticism. Fans point to game tape that seemed to tell a different story, including a pivotal late-season two-point attempt where Shedeur was taken off the field in the most critical moment. That decision became symbolic for many observers, signaling doubt at the worst possible time. Then came the abrupt ending. Instead of waiting for the traditional Black Monday dismissal after Week 18, owner Jimmy Haslam reportedly made the call on a Thursday, days before the season finale in Cincinnati. That unusual timing spoke volumes about the urgency inside the organization. The situation escalated further when the NFL Players Association released its annual anonymous coaching grades. Stefanski received a C-, ranking last among all 32 head coaches, while figures like Sean McVay were praised near the top. Those grades reflected internal player sentiment, not outside noise. By that point, the damage extended beyond job security. It was about credibility, trust, and whether the locker room still believed in the man leading it. The narrative now shifts to the NFC South and what many are calling the Atlanta illusion. The Atlanta Falcons chose to overlook the warning signs and hand Kevin Stefanski control of their franchise, betting that what happened in Cleveland was merely a situational collapse rather than a deeper issue. He enters Atlanta determined to prove the Cleveland Browns' fallout was a fluke, but the environment he's stepping into is anything but forgiving. The Falcons possess a passionate, culturally strong locker room that values transparency and leadership, and Stefanski arrives carrying the lowest approval rating in the league, amplified by the backlash that followed him from the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. Every move he makes with his new quarterback will be dissected. If he repeats the rigid decisions critics say defined his time in Cleveland, that locker room could shift quickly. He's balancing on a razor-thin margin, with the entire National Football League watching closely. As for the legacy he leaves behind, no number of podcast appearances or polished statements can fully rewrite the perception surrounding his handling of Shedeur Sanders. Many believe he mismanaged a young quarterback widely viewed as built for the league, Yet Shedeur endured the turbulence and emerged with his reputation intact, while Cleveland chose to move forward by investing in the player rather than the coach. The reaction in Indianapolis wasn't random. It reflected a broader frustration from fans and observers who felt the situation symbolized something bigger. Now the question turns to Atlanta. Will Stefanski redefine his narrative with the Falcons, or will the doubts that followed him continue to shape his next chapter?